Welcome on out to Lee Jordan Field here in Chugiak, Alaska. Let's start today's game between the Anchorage Glacier Pilots and your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. I'm Lance Morris here bringing you the play-by-play action of your Chinooks all summer long. Our summer starting to wind down. Game 36 of the summer. Chinooks riding a 9-game losing skid, not counting those couple showcase games. So the Chinooks looking to get off the schneid tonight. On the hill for the Chinooks will be Brady Batten, the native of Bryan, Texas. And the first pitch to Kyle Watson in there for a called strike one, and we're underway here in Chugiak. First pitch time of 6:05. Here's the 0-1. And they're called strike two. Batten quickly working his way up on Kyle Watson, the sophomore from Ole Miss. Here comes the 0-2. Just missing for ball one, 1-2 the count. After Kyle Watson, it'll be Deshaun Kiersey and Nate Eichhoff coming to the plate for the Pilots. The 1-2. Outside and a little low, 2-2 the count. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, but that'll get away from Ben Hill and allows Watson to be safe at first. So that's still the first strikeout of the game for Batten. But Watson will be safe over at first. So Deshaun Kiersey up to the plate. Nobody down top of the first inning here in Chugiak. First pitch to Kiersey. Thinks about showing the bump, but that gets past Ben Hill. That'll allow Watson to go to second easily. So Batten and Hill just a little bit off sync right now. Still is early in the game, and it's been a little while since these two have been throwing to each other. Last time Batten started, Spencer Lininger was behind the plate. 1-0 the count to Kiersey. Watson, your runner at second for the Pilots. Here's the 1-0. In there called strike one, evens it up at 1-1. Defensively for the Chinooks, a little different look than we are used to. Alex Masato getting the start in left. Zach Sanford's in center with Hunter Vansaw in right field. The 1-1. Bounces in front of the plate for ball two, 2-1. In the infield for the Chinooks, Aaron Shackelford getting the start at third. Isaac Alvarez, he's at shortstop. Will Bass is at second base with Ethan Whisker at first. And Ben Hill is the one doing the catching. Here's the 2-1. Popped up left side. That'll get out of play. 2-2 the count to Kiersey, the freshman from the University of Utah. Two and two count to Kiersey. Kyle Watson, the runner at second. Nobody down top of the first inning. Here's the 2-2. Upstairs and a miss for ball three, excuse me. Full count 3-2 to Kiersey. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Kiersey goes down on strikes. That's out number one here in the top of the first. That brings Nate Eichhoff up to the plate for the Pilots, one down. Here in the top of the first, Kyle Watson is over at second. And Batten and Hill still having a little bit of miscommunication, even with 2 strikeouts already from Batten. Eichhoff settling back into that left-handed batter's box. Here's the first pitch to Eichhoff. Popped out towards left field. That'll drop foul. Eichhoff getting the start at third base today for the Pilots. He's the 5'11 freshman from the University of Virginia. The 0-1. Upstairs, ball 1. Evens it up at 1-1. Joe Gillette waiting on deck for the Pilots, their cleanup hitter. The 1-1. Swing and a miss as Eichhoff goes chasing. One ball, 2 strikes. The count to Nate Eichhoff, hitting .273 on the summer with a double and a triple. The 1-2. Upstairs, ball 2. Evens it back up again at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to count to Nate Eichhoff. Kyle Watson still at second. 2-2. That one's poked right side. That'll go foul. Count still 2-2 to Nate Eichhoff. Watson over at second. Prolific base stealer, has 19 steals, has only been caught 4 times. Now the 2-2. Just outside, ball 3. So that'll make it a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nate Eichhoff. Here's a 3-2. Up and away, ball 4. So rare walk from Brady Batten. That puts runners at first and second, with 1 down here in the top of the first for Joe Gillette. So Joe Gillette now up to the plate for the Pilots. No score, top of the first inning. First pitch to Gillette. Way upstairs, gets away from Ben Hill, and each runner will pick up a base. Now Chris Beck going to come have a quick chat with Brady Batten. So we thank you for joining us here on the Chinook Radio Network. We're in the top of the first inning. No score on the board yet between the Chinooks and the Pilots. Pilots now have runners at second and third with one down. Joe Gillette back in that right-handed batter's box. He's hitting just under 300 on the summer. The 1-0 will stay just a little high for ball two. It's a 2-0 count to Joe Gillette, the 6'3 sophomore from Oregon State. The 2-0. That one's fouled right back. Two and one now to Joe Gillette. Jack Gerstenmaier awaiting on deck for the Pilots. The 2-1. Breaking pitch is just going to miss inside. 3-1 now, the count to Gillette. Batten in danger of walking the bases loaded. The 3-1. And that's what he'll do, is that one will miss upstairs for ball four. So second walk given up today so far by Batten. Loads up the bases with one down now. Jack Gerstenmaier up to the plate. Here's the first pitch to Gerstenmaier. Popped up right side. Vansaw going over. That one's going to drop in fair. So that'll bring in one run to score. He'll throw it all the way over to the third base bag in Shackelford. So one run comes in to score. Gives the Pilots the 1-0 advantage. So that brings Luke Ritter up to the plate with one down here in the top of the first. First pitch to Ritter is in there for a called strike one. Ritter doing the catching today for the Pilots. The 0-1. That one's lined out towards right field. Diving effort from Vansaw, but that's going to drop in. So second ball to drop in on Vansaw in the last two at-bats. Brings in another run. Pilots now take a 2-0 advantage. Isaac Feldstein up to the plate. Still one down, top of the first. Pilots up 2-0. First one to Feldstein, down and outside, ball one. Feldstein, the DH for the Pilots today. He came in second in the home run derby a couple weeks ago. The 1-0. Thinks about it, but that's in there for a called strike one. Count even once again at 1-1 to Feldstein, the 6'2 sophomore from Canada College. The 1-1. That one's poked over towards center field. Zach Sanford going over, unable to make the diving grab. Gillette's going to come in to score. Feldstein's going to be safe at second, and another run comes in to score in Gerstenmaier. Pilots take a 4-0 lead off of a 2 RBI double from Feldstein. It's Dalton Hurd up to the plate. Still one down, top of the first. He'll check his swing, but that's in there for a called strike one. Hurd getting the start in left field for the Pilots. The 0-1's going to miss down and in, ball one. When the count to Dalton Hurd, the 5'9" sophomore from Seattle University, the 1-1. Down low, ball two. Two and one, the count to Hurd. The 2-1. That's low for ball three. 3-1, the count to Hurd. First base is open. Set up the potential double play. The 3-1. Misses inside, ball four. So they will walk Hurd. Third walk today from Batten. That brings Duke Kinnaman up to the plate. Bases loaded, one down. Top of the first inning, Chinooks down 4-0 to the Pilots. Here's the first pitch to Kinnaman. Catches that outside corner, called strike one. Kinnaman, a 5'10" freshman from Stanford University. Here's the 0-1. That's down in the turf for ball one. Hill keeps that in front of him. One and one the count to the second baseman, Kinnaman. The 1-1. That's foul tipped back for strike two. One and two the count to Kinnaman. Here's the 1-2. Popped up right side. That's going to fall just in play, but foul. So that would have taken a crazy effort just to get it to that ball anyway, as that one clanged off the foul fence. So the count remains 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That one's hit foul down the left field side this time. Now the 1-2. Hit on the ground. Right past the diving Isaac Alvarez. One run comes in to score. Play at the plate. Not in time. Actually gets past Hill as well. So that brings in a couple more to score. Score now 6-0. First pitch to Kyle Watson in there, called strike one. Here's the 0-1. Outside ball 1-1 the count to Watson. The 1-1. Watson thinks about that, but holds up as that's a little low for ball 2. The 2-1. In there called strike number 2. 2-2 the count to Watson. Still just one down, top of the first. Chinooks down 6-0. Second straight time the Pilots have had a first inning similar to this. The 2-2. That's just barely fought away by Watson. Stays alive at 2-2. Watson actually did go down swinging his first time up, but reached on the wild pitch. Count remains 2-2 as the Pilots have runners on second and third with one down. The 2-2. Hit right back up the middle. That'll get into center field for a base hit. One run comes in to score. Watson's going to come around as they throw all the way to the plate. Not sure what they were going for there, but Watson gets all the way to second. And so it looks like this will do for Brady Batten's second straight start. He's failed to get out of the first inning. The Pilots have a 7-0 lead, and we're going to have a new pitcher coming into the game. I'll tell you who that is here in a moment, as the Chinooks struggling here in Chugiak. And welcome back here in downtown Chugiak. New pitcher on the hill for the Chinooks. It'll be Nick Campy coming in relief of Brady Batten. He jumps ahead on Deshaun Kiersey, the 0-1. Just outside, ball 1. 1-1 the count. Chinooks struggling again in the first inning, kind of similar to what they did in game 2 of the doubleheader a few days ago. Chinooks currently down 7-0, the 1-1. Big hack and a miss by Kiersey. He'll fall behind 1-2. The 1-2. Just missing for ball 2. Didn't miss by too much. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Kiersey will go down on strikes. Second straight time Kiersey has struck out. He's actually been both of the outs so far. That'll bring Nate Eichhoff back to the plate. Drew a walk his first time up. First pitch to him. Thinks about it, but that's in there. Called strike one. The 0-1. Just outside, ball one. 1-1 the count to Eichhoff. Here's the 1-1. That one's barely fouled back. 1-2 the count to Eichhoff. The 1-2. Let's hit on the ground towards first. Ethan Whisker fields it. Takes it to the bag himself for the final out. So that'll finally do it for that bad top of the first inning. Chinooks down 7-0 as they head into their half of the first here in Chugiak. And welcome back on out to Lee Jordan Field here in downtown Chugiak. About to start the bottom of the first inning here between the Chinooks and the Pilots. First half of the inning didn't go the Chinook way as the Pilots put 7 on the board. They lead 7-0. On the hill for the Pilots, Cole Mackay, the 6'5 freshman from LSU. This is his 7th start on the summer. Here's the first pitch to Will Bass. Upstairs, ball one. After Bass, it'll be Hunter Vansaw and Tim Millard coming to the plate. The 1-0. That's in there called strike one. Evens the count to Will Bass. Here's the 1-1. That one's popped up left side. It'll be Kyle Watson going over to make the grab for out number 1. That brings Hunter Vansaw up to the plate. One down, bottom of the first. Here's the first pitch to Vansaw. Just outside, ball 1. Vansaw leading the team in average, even though it has dropped a little bit, still hitting .317. Here's the 1-0. That one's hit out towards center field. Sean Kiersey going over. He'll make the grab for out number 2. Two down, bottom of the first. Chinooks down 7-0. Tim Millard coming up to the plate for the Chinooks. Defensively for the Pilots, Dalton Hurds in left, Deshaun Kiersey in center with Joe Gillette in right. Now here's the first pitch to Tim Millard. Taken low for ball 1. In the infield, Nate Eichhoff is at third. Kyle Watson, the shortstop. Duke Kinnaman at second. Jack Gerstenmeyer first with Luke Ritter doing the catching. Here's the 1-0. Upstairs, ball 2. Two and 0 the count to Tim Millard, the DH for today's game. Here's the 2-0. Down low gets away from Ritter. Makes it a 3-0 count to Tim Millard. 2 down, bottom of the first. Here comes the 3-0. Inside, ball 4. So 4 straight pitches, and Millard will draw the walk. He's the first Chinook base runner today. Brings Ethan Whisker up to the plate. 2 down, bottom of the first. So Whisker up to the plate, 2 down, bottom of the first. Chinooks down 7-0. First time we'll see Mackay out of the stretch. First pitch to Whisker. Outside, ball 1. Whisker, the first baseman, occasional relief pitcher, plays at Hillsdale College. The 1-0. Upstairs, ball 2. So 6 straight balls coming from Mackay. Whisker ahead in the count, 2-0. Tim Millard over at first. The 2-0. Well, that one's hit out towards short center field. It'll be Deshaun Kiersey coming in to make the grab for out number 3. So the Chinooks will get one on, but they'll leave him stranded. Well, that'll do it for the first inning here in Shugiak. Chinooks trail by a score of 7-0. Back we are to start the top of the second inning between the Chinooks and the Pilots. Lance Morris here with you. We're about to start the top of the second inning. Chinooks down 7-0. Joe Gillette first up for the Pilots. First pitch to him taken for ball one. After Gillette will be Jack Gerstenmeyer and Luke Ritter coming to the plate. 1-0. Down on the ground, left side, it'll go foul. Here's the 1-1. Taken for a called strike two. Gillette down 1-2 in the count. He drew a walk his first time up, came around to score. The 1-2. He'll fight that one off as that goes out of play. Count remains 1-2. The 1-2. Got him looking, called strike three. So Gillette will go down looking. He's out number one here in the top of the second. One down, top of the second. Chinooks trailing 7-0. Jack Gerstenmeyer up to the plate. First pitch to him in there, called strike one. Gerstenmeyer had an RBI single his first time up. The 0-1. Hit back up the middle. Campy will field it. He'll underhand toss out to Ethan Whisker at first in time for out number two. Luke Ritter now up with two down, top of the second. First pitch to him. In there, called strike one. Here's the 0-1. That'll miss for ball one. 1-1 the count to Ritter. Ritter also had an RBI single his last time up. The 1-1 is laced into center field. That'll be a base hit. So Ritter on for the second time with his second single of the day. That brings up Isaac Feldstein with two down. Feldstein had a 2 RBI double his first time up. He'll hit that down the third base line, but it'll go foul. Here's the 0-1. That one's hit hard, right side, but that'll go out of play. Feldstein quickly down 0-2. Ritter, the runner at first for the Pilots. The 0-2. Swing and a misses. Ritter goes upstairs to chase. So he'll go down swinging. That's the third strikeout for Nick Campy, as that does it for the top of the second. Let's leave one stranded. They maintain a 7-0 lead over your Chinooks. And welcome back out to Lee Jordan Field as we start the bottom of the second inning between the Chinooks and the Pilots. Chinooks down 7-0. Aaron Shackelford will lead things off this half of the inning. Mackay set for his second inning work. First pitch to Shackelford. Taken for a called strike one. After Shackelford, it'll be Alex Masato and Isaac Alvarez coming to the plate. The 0-1. Inside gets away from Ritter. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike to Aaron Shackelford, getting the start at third today. The 1-1. That one's fouled back out of play. Count now 1-2. Shackelford second on the Chinooks in average, hitting .283. Here's the 1-2. He'll put that one out of play as well. Count remains 1-2 to Shackelford. The 1-2. He'll hit that one past the diving Kyle Watson as that gets into left field for a base hit. Alex Masato up to the plate now for the Chinooks. Nobody down. Aaron Shackelford, the runner at first. First pitch Masato. Taking a little high for ball 1. Masato played at Tyler Junior College this past season, was a part of a team that won the national title. The 1-0. Upstairs again, ball 2. So we know the count to Masato. Hasn't had a ton of at-bats as he's a two-way player. Spent some time in the outfield, also one of the relief pitchers. He's hitting .243 this summer. The 2-0. Upstairs again, ball 3. So Mackay at times has struggled to find the strike zone as he's allowed Masato to get ahead 3-0. Here's the 3-0. And that one will miss for ball 4. Second time we've seen a 4-pitch walk from Mackay. Isaac Alvarez up to the plate now. Nobody down, bottom of the second. Chinooks trailing 7-0. Here's the first pitch to Alvarez. Taken for a called strike 1. Alvarez, the Chinooks shortstop, plays at Chandler Gilbert Community College. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. He'll fall behind 0-2. Isaac hitting 167 on the summer with 2 RBIs, has drawn 6 walks. Here's the 0-2. Misses down low for ball 1. They thought about trying to throw back at Shackelford at second, but they changed their mind. Count now 1-2 to Alvarez, originally from Mesa, Arizona. The 1-2. Fouls that one back and out of play, stays alive at 1-2. Ben Hill awaiting on deck for the Chinooks. Still nobody down, bottom of the second. Chinooks down 7-0, but have runners at first and second. With the 1-2. That one popped up right side. Christian Meyer will go out of play for it. They will call infield fly, so Alvarez will be out. So Ben Hill up to the plate with 1 down. Bottom of the second inning. And time will be called right before Mackay started to throw. So that'll be no pitch. Shackelford, the runner at second. Alex Masato, the runner at first. Ben Hill's the man at the plate right now for the Chinooks. First pitch to Ben Hill. In there, called strike 1. Hill coming off a good game in which he was 2 for 3. He was our player of the game as well, something he had wanted to do since he got here this summer and learned that we were doing the whole player of the game thing after the games. The 0-1. Taken for a called strike 2. Hill down in the count 0-2. Going to the count to Ben Hill. Zach Sanford waiting on deck. Now they're going to try and pick off Shackelford over at second. He'll dive back in time. Shrek does have 2 steals on the summer, but has been caught 3 times. Here's the 0-2. Misses outside. Shackelford's on the move. He's in there safely. And Masato will take that opportunity to advance to second as well. So a couple of steals for the Chinooks, puts runners at second and third. Count 1-2 to Hill. The 1-2. Down into the turf, ball 2. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes to the catcher, Ben Hill. Here's the 2-2. That's hit back on the ground towards Mackay on the mound. He'll throw it over to first in time for the out. So the runners will stay at their bases. That brings Zach Sanford up to the plate with 2 down, bottom of the second inning. Chinooks trailing by a score of 7-0, but have runners at second and third. First pitch to Sanford. Inside, ball 1. Sanford hitting 192 on the summer. The 1-0. That one's popped back out of play, foul. Count even at 1-1 to Sanford, the outfielder from Glenville State. Here's the 1-1. So takes a swing at that one, but it gets all the way back to the fence. Allows Shackelford to come in to score. Alex Posado advances to third. So Chinooks will get their first run on the board. They trail 7-1. So 1-2 the count to Sanford. Posado now at third with 2 down. And Sanford will call for time. Sanford also has 2 doubles, 1 home run to go with 7 RBIs. The 1-2. That's fouled back out of play. Sanford keeps himself going at the plate. It's a 1-2 count. The 1-2 is going to miss low for ball 2. Count even once again, 2-2 to Sanford. The 2-2. Down low once again. That's ball 3. That'll make it a full count, 3-2 to Sanford. Now the 3-2. That'll miss for ball 4, so the patient at bat from Sanford pays off. Puts runners at the corners with 2 down. So Will Bass comes up to the plate with 2 down. Bottom of the second, Chinooks trailing 7-1. First pitch to Bass, he's swinging and missing at for strike 1. Bass flew out to the shortstop Watson his first time up. The 0-1 misses inside as Sanford fakes the steal from second, or the steal to second. So it's a 1-1 count to Bass. The 1-1. Up and away, ball 2. Two and 1 now. The count to Bass with 2 down. The 2-1. Fouled right back towards me. Count even once again at 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Sanford on the move. Breaking pitch will miss upstairs. So Sanford will go ahead and swipe second. That'll make it a full count, 3-2 to Will Bass, the Chinook veteran. The 3-2. That one's popped up left side. That'll go out of play. Count remains full at 3-2 to Will Bass. The 3-2. Down low, ball 4. So Bass draws the walk. Fourth walk given up by Mackay. That brings Hunter Vansaw up to the plate. They'll have a quick meeting on the mound first, though. So thank you for joining us here on the Chinook Radio Network. Nooks down by a score of 7-1. But they are threatening here in the bottom of the second. They've already put 1 on the board. And now they have the bases loaded with 2 down for Hunter Vansaw. So now we're ready to resume action here in Shugiak. Bases loaded for Hunter Vansaw. We have seen them hit 1 grand slam this summer for the record. Masato, the runner at third. Sanford at second. Bass at first. Here's the first pitch to Vansaw. Pops that one up towards shallow right field. It'll be Joe Gillette making the grab. And that'll do it for the bottom of the second. Chinooks will plate one, though. They still trail by a score of 7-1. And welcome back on out to Lee Jordan Field as we start the top of the third between the Chinooks and the Pilots. Chinooks trail by a score of 7-1. 8-9-1 here is coming up for the Pilots. Dalton Hurd will lead things off after him. It'll be Duke Kinnaman back to the top of the order for Kyle Watson. First pitch to Hurd, upstairs, ball one. Hurd his first time up, drew a walk, came in to score. Next one in there called strike one. 1-1 the count to Hurd. Here's the 1-1. Hit on the ground hard, past the diving Aaron Shackelford. That'll get into left for a base hit. So Pilots on with a leadoff single here in the top of the third. That brings up Duke Kinnaman to the plate. Kinnaman's up to the plate, nobody down, top of the third. First pitch to him. Inside, ball one. Kinnaman hitting 190 on the summer. Next one's going to miss again for ball two. Kinnaman had a single his first time up. That's in there for a called strike one. The 2-1. And he did go around for strike two. And he will go down with a weird looking swing. That's out number one. Brings us back to the top of the order for Kyle Watson. It's in there for a called strike one. Watson struck out his first time up, then had an RBI single the next. He'll just barely get a piece of that one and fall behind 0-2. Watson came into the game hitting .248. The 0-2. Outside, ball one. Two on the count to Watson, the shortstop from Ole Miss. The 1-2. Upstairs, ball two. Two and two, the count to Kyle Watson. Dalton heard the runner at first. The 2-2. Just missing for ball three. That'll make it a full count. 3-2 to Watson. The 3-2. Line down the right field line. That'll go foul. So the count's full to Kyle Watson. One down, top of the third. The 3-2. Hit on the ground towards Alvarez. He'll flip it over to Bass for one. And back over to first in time. 6-4-3 double play, and that will do it for the top of the third. Chinooks starting to show some signs of life as they're trailing 7-1. And welcome back as we're starting the bottom of the third inning here in downtown Chugiak. Here's the first pitch to Tim Millard. Taken for a called strike one. After Millard, it'll be Ethan Whisker and Aaron Shackelford coming to the plate. The 0-1. Down low, ball one. The 1-1. Lace it down the left field line, but it'll go foul. Here's the 1-2. That one's fouled out of play. Count remains 1-2 to Tim Millard, the redshirt sophomore from Dallas Baptist. The 1-2. That's hit back up the middle past Kyle Watson. That'll be a base hit single for Millard. So Millard's on with a leadoff single to start the bottom of the third. He's been on base both times today. Brings Ethan Whisker up to the plate. Nobody down. Bottom of the third. Chinooks down 7-1. First pitch to Whisker. Outside, ball one. Whisker flew out to center field his first time up. The 1-0. Down low into the turf for ball two. Two and 0 the count to Ethan Whisker. The 2-0. Misses for ball three. 3-0 the count to Ethan Whisker. The 3-0. And that'll miss for ball four. So that's the fifth walk given up by Mackay. Now they're going to come have a meeting with him. They have had some activity in their bullpen. We'll see if that means they make the change. So it looks like they will. So we'll have a new pitcher coming in for the Pilots. We'll step aside. Chinooks trailing by a score of 7-1. And welcome back, Chinook fans. We're still in the middle of the bottom of the third. New pitcher on the hill for the Pilots, Timothy Holdgraffer. He'll be facing Aaron Shackelford. First pitch to Shack. Taken for a called strike one. Shackelford had a single his first time up, came around to score the only Chinook run so far. Here's the 0-1. That's in there for a called strike two. Shack was showing the bunt that time, but pulled it back. Oh, 2 the count to Shackelford. Runners at first and second with nobody down. That'll miss for ball one. They tried to question whether he went around. He did not. Count 1-2 to Shackelford. The larger runner at second, Ethan Whisker, the runner at first. The 1-2. Lined back foul. Want to see the count to Shackelford. Facing the new pitcher, Timothy Holdgraffer. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Shack will go down on strikes. I'll bring Alex Masato to the plate. One down, bottom of the third. Masato's up to the plate with one down. First pitch to him. Taken for a called strike one. Masato drew a walk. His first time up was then stranded at third. The 0-1. Fouls that one back. Count 0-2 to Alex Masato. The 0-2. Fouls that one back. Stays alive at 0-2. Masato at Tyler Junior College hit .276. While there he had 5 doubles, 2 home runs, 17 RBIs. Here's the 0-2. Down low, ball one. Nice eye there from Masato. Count 1-2. Runners at first and second, the 1-2. Taken for ball two. Count even once again at 2-2. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Shackelford is on the move. And they will strike him out, throw him out. So that'll do it for the bottom of the third. Chinooks trailing by a score of 7-1. And backyard to start the top of the fourth inning here in Chugiak. First pitch to Deshaun Kiersey will miss for ball one. After Kiersey, it'll be Nate Eichhoff and Joe Gillette coming up for the Pilots. We thank you for joining us. The 1-0. Swing and a miss from Kiersey evens it up at 1-1. Kiersey 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts so far today. The 1-1. That's taken for called strike 2 at the knees. The 1-2. That'll be hit into center field. That'll drop in for a base hit. So Kiersey will get on for the first time today with a single. Nate Eichhoff up to the plate. Nobody down, top of the fourth inning. Chinooks trailing by a score of 7-1. First pitch to Eichhoff. That's fouled out of play. Eichhoff 0 for 1 today, has drawn a walk and grounded out to first. The 0-1. Catches the inside corner for a called strike 2. Eichhoff quickly down to the count 0-2. Campy will now check over first on Kiersey. He dives back safely. Kiersey does have a tendency to steal, has 9 stolen bases compared to the 7 times he's been caught stealing. The 0-2. Chopped on the ground towards first. Whisker goes to first. They'll call it foul. Even though I think it looked like he fielded that in play. Must have just gotten outside that white line. So otherwise, that probably would have been a double play. Because Whisker didn't have to move much to take that and go over to first, maybe a step. And then had plenty of time to throw to second and probably could have applied the tag in time. Now Coach Downworth going to go out there and talk to home plate umpire Tim Davis. Not much you can do about that play after it's already ruled foul. Can't go back and say it's not foul. So the count remains 0-2 to Eichhoff. The 0-2. Fouls that one out of play. Count still 0-2 to Eichhoff. Kiersey the runner at first. The 0-2. That's lined out towards center field. Sanford will make the grab for out number 1 as Kiersey runs back over to first. One down, top of the fourth. Chinooks down 7-1. That brings up right fielder Joe Gillette. Gillette 0 for 1 today. Has drawn a walk and struck out. And Campy will check on Kiersey as he dives back safely. First pitch to Gillette. Taken for a called strike 1. Gillette, the 6'3 sophomore from Oregon State. He's originally from Scotts Valley, California. The 0-1. Kiersey on the move, but that's belted out towards left field. That's going to go foul. Had that been straightened out, that would have been a home run from Gillette, his third of the summer, but luckily for the Chinooks, that'll go foul. So the count now 0-2 to Gillette. We'll see if Kiersey is still on the move. The 0-2, Kiersey fakes the steal as it's fouled back by Gillette. So the count's still 0-2 to Gillette. One down, top of the fourth. The 0-2. That'll miss for ball one. Now Campy will check on Kiersey. He'll dive back safely. Again, they'll check on him. Dives back in time, close play. Count 1-2 to Joe Gillette. The 1-2 is going to be fouled back once again. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes to the outfielder from Oregon State. The 1-2, Kiersey on the move. Got him looking for strike 3, but Kiersey will be safe at second. So second time Gillette's going to go down looking today. 5th strikeout for Campy. And that'll be the 10th steal of the summer for Kiersey. Let him bring Jack Gerstenmeyer up to the plate. 2 down, top of the fourth. First pitch to him. Taken down low for ball 1. The 1-0 comes inside and plunks Gerstenmeyer. Looks like Kiersey might have even been thinking about running on that play as well. Runners at first and second, 2 down. As Luke Ritter bends down to tie his cleat. Runners at first and second, 2 down for the Pilots. Luke Ritter's up to the plate. First pitch to him. In there for a strike. Kiersey's on the move. He's in there safely at third. So another steal from Kiersey. That's his 11th now of the summer. One and 1 the count. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. It's 0-2 to the catcher, Luke Ritter, the freshman from Wichita State. Here's the 0-2. Gerstenmeyer's on the move. They will fake out the throw to him. They try to see if they can catch Kiersey napping, but he'll dive back in time. One and two the count to Ritter. Runners at second and third. The 1-2. Up and away, ball 2. Two and two the count to Ritter. The 2-2. That one's fouled right back. The count 2-2 to the catcher Ritter. The 2-2. That one's hit out towards right field. Hunter Vansaw going over. And he'll make the grab for out number 3. So that'll do it for the top of the 4th. Pilots will leave a couple stranded. They maintain their 7-1 lead over your Chinooks. And welcome back as we start the bottom of the 4th inning here from downtown Chugiak. Isaac Alvarez will get things started this half of the inning for the Chinooks at the plate. After him, it'll be Ben Hill and Zach Sanford. Timothy Oldgraffer still on the mound for the Pilots. First pitch will be inside, ball 1 to Alvarez. Here's the 1-0. Down low, ball 2. Alvarez popped out to first base his first time up. The 2-0. Down low, ball 3. 3-0 the count to Alvarez. The 3-0. In there called strike 1. The 3-1. That's hit on the ground towards short. Watson will field it. Gets that over to Gerstenmaier first in time for out number 1. Ben Hill up to the plate, 1 down, bottom of the 4th. Shooks down 7-1. First pitch to Hill will miss low, ball 1. Hill grounded out back to the pitcher his first time up. The 1-0. Misses for ball 2. 2-0 to the catcher from Olivet Nazarene. The 2-0. That one's hit just foul right after Ritter grabbed it. Count 2-1 now to Hill. Hill goes to school in Illinois, but his hometown is Grand Rapids, Michigan. The 2-1. So we're going to miss that time from Hill. Evens up the count at 2-2. 2-2 the count to Hill. Zach Sanford awaits on deck. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Hill will go down on strikes. He's out number 2 in the bottom of the 4th. That brings up Zach Sanford to the plate. 2 down, bottom of the 4th. Chinooks down 7-1 to the Pilots. First pitch to Sanford. Hit hard, but foul down the right side. Sanford drew a walk his last time up. Also was able to swipe a bag. The 0-1. Thinks about dropping down the bunt. Pulls it back. That's ball 1. One and one the count to Zach Sanford. The 1-1. That one's fouled back. Looks like it hit off of Ritter at some point. One and two now the count to the outfielder from Glenville State. The 1-2. Hit on the ground towards first. Gerstenmeyer will field it. Takes over to the bag himself for out number 3. So that'll do it for the bottom of the 4th as the Chinooks go down in order. They trail by a score of 7-1 to the Pilots. Welcome back as we start at the top of the 5th inning here from downtown Shugiak. First pitch to Isaac Feldstein in there, called strike 1. After Feldstein, it'll be Dalton Hurd and Duke Kinnaman. The 0-1's going to miss for ball one. 1-1 the count. Nick Campy still on the hill for the Chinooks. The 1-1. So we're going to miss from Feldstein. He'll fall behind 1-2. Feldstein 1 for 2 today. A 2 RBI double his first time up. The 1-2. Just inside ball 2. 2-2 the count to the home run derby runner-up. The 2-2. Chopped back left side. It'll go foul. Count remains 2-2 to Feldstein, the sophomore from Canada College. Here's the 2-2. Hit hard left side. That'll go foul. Now the 2-2. Fastball outside. Ball 3. Full count 3-2 now to Feldstein. Here's the 8th pitch of the at-bat. And that one's hit foul. Count remains 3-2 to Feldstein. The 3-2. And that one's fouled back. Count still 3-2 to Feldstein. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Feldstein goes down on strikes. That's strikeout number 6 so far from Nick Campy. Dalton Hurd up to the plate. 1 down, top of the 5th. He'll be swinging and missing that pitch number 1 from Campy. Hurd 1 for 1 today. Drew a walk and then had a single. The 0-1. Taken for a called strike 2. The sophomore from Seattle University finds himself down in the count 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Got him looking, called strike 3. Second straight strikeout. That's strikeout number 7 now for Campy. That makes it 2 down here at the top of the 5th. That brings Duke Kinnaman up to the plate, 2 down, top of the 5th inning. Chinooks down 7-1. First pitch to Kinnaman. In there, called strike 1. As Campy is now rolling through right now against these Pilots hitters. The 0-1 in there, called strike 2. Nice breaking pitch from Campy. Count now 0-2 to Duke Kinnaman. The 0-2. Fastball just misses outside for ball 1. Count 1-2 to Kinnaman. He's 1 for 2 today with a single and a strikeout. The 1-2. Outside ball 2. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kinnaman. The 2-2. That one's hit out towards right field. Vansaw going over. And he'll make the grab for out number 3. So that'll do it for the top of the 5th. As Campy gets a couple strikeouts and a flyout. Chinooks still trail by a score of 7-1 to the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Welcome back to downtown Shugiak as we're starting the bottom of the fifth inning between the Chinooks and the Pilots. First pitch to Will Bass will miss low for ball one. We're back at the top of the lineup after Bass. It'll be Hunter Vansaw and Tim Millard. The 1-0. Swing and a misses. That'll come back and hit home plate umpire Tim Davis in the foot. Luckily, he's got those plate shoes on. And Tim has really been beaten up the last couple days. Hard to see, but he does have a wrist protector on his left wrist from getting hit earlier on in the week. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss there from Bass. Falls behind 1-2. Bass plays his ball at Waylon Baptist. The 1-2. That's hit hard. Somehow Kinnaman stays in front of it, but he'll just knock it down. So that'll be an infield single from Will Bass. So that'll bring Hunter Vansaw up to the plate. Nobody down. Runner at first on Will Bass. First pitch to Vansaw. Taken for a called strike one. Vansaw 0 for 2 today with a couple of flyouts. They'll check on Bass over at first. He's back in time. Bass 6 steals on the summer. Has only been caught once. Here's the 0-1. That's in there for a called strike two. As Vansaw down 0-2 now. Here's the 0-2. That's hit hard, right side. That'll go foul. The count remains 0-2 to Vansaw. So they'll check on Bass once again. Still back in time. Here's the 0-2. That one's hit out towards shallow left field. Dalton Hurd gets under it for out number one. That brings Tim Millard up to the plate. One down, bottom of the fifth. Chinooks down 7-1. First pitch to Millard. Low, and that'll get away from Ritter. Allows Bass to advance. Millard, the DH today. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. The 1-0. That one's fouled back out of play. One on the count to Tim Millard. As they'll try and pick off Will Bass. He's back there in plenty of time. Count remains 1-1 to Tim Millard. The 1-1. That's hit on the ground towards second. Kinnaman will field it. Gets that over to Gerstenmeyer first in time for out number 2. That does allow Bass to advance to third. Brings Ethan Whisker up to the plate. 2 down, bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch to Whisker. Taken for a called strike 1. Whisker 0 for 1 today with a flyout and also drew a walk. The 0-1. That one will miss for ball 1. 1-1 the count. The 1-1. Inside ball 2. Two and 1 the count to Whisker. Whisker hitting .235 on the summer. Tied for the team lead in doubles with 9. And that one's hit out towards center field. That drops in for a base hit. Allows Will Bass to come in and score. RBI signal from Whisker adds on a run for the Chinooks. They trail 7-2. That brings Aaron Shackelford up to the plate. 2 down, bottom half of the 5th. First pitch to Shackelford. Catches the outside corner, called strike 1. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Shaq falls behind 0-2. Shaq is 1 for 2 today with a strikeout and a single. The 0-2. Just outside, ball 1. Count 1-2 to Aaron Shackelford, the sophomore from the Masters College. The 1-2. That's it on the ground towards second. Kinnaman will field it. He'll go over to first in time for out number 3. So that'll do it for the bottom of the 5th, but the Chinooks add on a run. They continue to trail by a deficit of 7-2 to the Glacier Pilots. And back you are to start the top of the 6th inning here between the Chinooks and the Pilots. Chinooks trail by a score of 7-2. New pitcher on the hill for the Chinooks. It'll be Nick Brooks. His 10th appearance of the summer. He's gone 14 innings. Has a 5.79 ERA. We're facing Kyle Watson. He'll be first pitch swinging as that's grounded towards short. Alvarez will field it. Gets it over to first in time for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Sean Kiersey up to the plate. 1 down top of the 6th. First pitch to Kiersey. Catches the outside corner, called strike 1. Kiersey 1 for 3 today with a single and 2 strikeouts. The 0-1. That one's just barely fouled off. As Kiersey falls behind 0-2. Kiersey, the freshman from Utah, hitting .250 on the summer. The 0-2. Outside, ball 1. One and 2 the count to Kiersey with 1 down. The 1-2. Down and outside, ball 2. The 2-2. Got him, looking called strike 3 on the good breaking pitch from Nick Brooks. That'll sit down Kiersey. 3rd strikeout today for him. That'll bring Nate Eichhoff up to the plate. 2 down top half of the 6th. First pitch to him. And they're called strike 1. The 0-1. That one's lined right at Will Bass, and he'll bring that one in for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning once again for the Chinook defense. So that'll do it for the top of the 6th. Chinooks still trail, though, by a score of 7-2. First pitch to Alex Masato. He'll pop back foul. We thank you for joining us here from downtown Shugiak. 0-1 the count to Alex Masato. Next one will miss for ball one. New pitcher on the hill for the Pilots will be Tanner Sanders. The 1-1 in there called strike two. One and two the count to Masato. The 1-2. Got him looking, called strike three. Brings Isaac Alvarez up to the plate with one down. Alvarez will be first pitch swinging for strike one. Another swing and a miss from Alvarez as he goes chasing for strike two. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a misses. Alvarez goes down swinging on three straight pitches. That brings Ben Hill up to the plate with two down here in the bottom of the sixth. First pitch to Ben Hill. A little high for ball one. The 1-0. Catches the outside corner for a called strike one. Count even at 1-1 to Hill. He's 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a strikeout. Tries to hold up, but he'll go around for strike two. The 1-2. Outside ball two. Two and two, the count to Ben Hill. The 2-2. Down in the turf, ball three. Now to make it a full count, 3-2. The 3-2. That's it on the ground towards short. They'll get that over to first in time for the final out of the inning. Chinooks still trail by a score of 7-2. And welcome back here to downtown Chugiak as we start at the top of the 7th. First pitch to Joe Gillette. Taken for a called strike 1. Here's the 0-1. In there called strike 2 as we see a couple breaking pitches from Nick Brooks. He's in his second inning of relief, in relief of Nick Campy. The 0-2. That one's popped straight up. And foul ground hill going over. Makes the grab for out number 1. They'll bring RJ Cordero up. He's pinch hitting now for Jack Gerstenmeyer. They'll be first pitch swinging for strike 1. Here's the 0-1. Down low, ball 1. Cordero hitting .214 on the summer. All of his hits have been singles. The 1-1. Outside, ball 2. 2-1 the count to RJ Cordero, the freshman from Fresno State. The 2-1. Set on the ground towards Will Bass at second. I'll get that over to Ethan Whisker at first in time for out number 2. Brings Nick Orr up to the plate. Another new hitter for the Pilots. First pitch will miss low, ball 1. The 1-0. This is low again, ball 2. Nick Orr hitting .163 on the summer. The 2-0. Low again, ball 3. The 3-0. Orr's 3-0 swinging as that hits it out towards center field. And it'll be Isaac Alvarez making the grab for out number 3. So that'll do it for the top of the 7th. Another 1-2-3 inning. Chinooks still trail by a score of 7-2 to the Pilots. Zach Sanford up to the plate here, and he'll be first pitch swinging. He'll line that out towards right field. But Joe Gillette will be able to go over and make the grab for out number 1. Will Bass now up to the plate with 1 down. First pitch to him on this low, ball 1. The 1-0. In there called strike 1. The 1-1. That's it hard, back up the middle past a diving Jeremiah Burks at short. As Bass is on with a single, they'll try and pick him off back all the way from center field. Not quite in time, so Bass will still be safe. That'll bring Hunter Vansaw up to the plate with 1 down. As they'll check on Bass over first, he'll be back in time. First pitch to Vansaw. Down and outside, ball 1. The 1-0. In there this time for a called strike 1. The 1-1. That's hit back up the middle, and that'll get through for a base hit. Back-to-back singles from the Chinooks will put runners at first and second. As that brings up Tim Millard. First pitch to Tim Millard. Will miss for ball 1. Millard 1 for 2 today. Had a single back in the third. The 1-0. Outside, ball 2. The 2-0. And that one's fouled back. Two and 1 the count to Tim Millard. Chinook DH today. The 2-1. That's hit back to the mound. They'll go over to second for 1. Back over to first in time. 1-6-3 double play. So that'll do it for the bottom of the 7th inning. Chinooks will leave a couple on. They still trail by a score of 7-2. Back we are to start the top of the 8th inning between the Chinooks and the Pilots. Chinooks trail by a score of 7-2. First pitch to Isaac Feldstein will miss low, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's chopped back third base side, but that'll go foul. One on the count to Feldstein. The 1-1. Again, hit on the ground towards third. It'll go foul. The 1-2. Down and outside, ball 2. 2-2 the count to Feldstein, the sophomore from Canada College. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Feldstein goes down. He's out number 1 here in the top of the 8th. Jeremiah Burks up to the plate for the first time today. First pitch to him. Outside, ball 1. Burks hitting 143 on the summer. Next one's in there, called strike 1. The 1-1. Breaking pitch is going to miss for ball 2. The 2-1. Down and outside, ball 3. 3-1 the count to Jeremiah Burks. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. Makes it a full count, 3-2 to Burks. The 3-2. That'll miss for ball 4. So that'll put Burks on. He's on with 1 down, top of the 8th inning. Kirk Morgan now pinch hitting for Duke Kinnaman. First pitch to him. Inside, ball 1. Next one's in there, called strike 1. One and 1 the count to Kirk Morgan. The 1-1. That one's poked out towards short left field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. So Morgan's on with the single. Brings us back to the top of the order for Kyle Watson. Kyle Watson up to the plate, 1 down. Top of the 8th inning. Runners at first and second for the Pilots. First pitch to Watson. Big swing and a miss for strike 1. Watson 1 for 4 today. His single came in the first inning, in his second at-bat that inning. The 0-1. Down low, ball 1. One on the count to Watson. Started the game at shortstop. He's now playing center field. The 1-1. In there, called strike 2. One and two the count to Kyle Watson. The 1-2. That takes a weird bounce. Alvarez will still field it. Goes to second for 1. Not in time over at first. So to put runners at first and third with 2 down, as Watson's safe on the fielder's choice. So Deshaun Kersey up to the plate once again. First pitch to him. Down and outside, ball 1. Kersey 1 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts. He'll tip that one back into the glove of Ben Hill for strike 1. Runner on the move. He's now going to throw it over and allows Burks to come in and score. One and one the count to Kersey. As that one's fouled back and out of play. Here's the 1-2. That one's fouled back. One and two the count to Kersey. As Brooks will check over at first on Watson. He was on the move on the last pitch. The 1-2. Popped up left side. That'll go out of play. Here's the 1-2. Outside, ball 2. Here's the 2-2. Down into the turf, ball 3. Full count 3-2 to Deshaun Kersey. The 3-2. That one's hit on the ground. Whisker goes under his glove. Bass will field it. And that'll get all the way back to the plate. Just the throwing error.
Number 4, the third baseman, Nate Eichhoff.
So Nate Eichhoff up to the plate. Runners at second and third. First one to Eichhoff. Up and away, ball one. The 1-0. Popped way up. Van Hill going back in foul ground. And he'll make the grab for out number 3. So that'll do it for the top of the 8th, but the Pilots add on another run. They now lead 8-2. Welcome back on out to Chugiak, Alaska, as we're about to start the bottom of the 8th inning here between the Chinooks and the Pilots. That's up by a score of 8-2. First pitch to Ethan Whisker, misses low. They will say he went around for strike 1. The 0-1 is hit back up the middle, fielded by Burks. Whisker will beat it out over first. He's in there with an infield single.
Number 8, the third baseman, Aaron Shackelford for the Chinooks.
So now Aaron Shackelford up to the plate. First pitch to him. In there, called strike 1. Shack 1 for 3 today with a single coming in the second. The 0-1's going to miss low for ball 1. Still on the hill for the Pilots. Came in back in the 6th. The 1-1. That's fouled right back towards me. Run to the count to Aaron Shackelford. The 1-2. Inside, ball 2. 2-2 the count to Aaron Shack over Ethan Whisker. The runner at first with nobody down. They'll now check on Whisker as he'll dive back in time. The 2-2. Hit on the ground towards second. Go over to second for one. Not in time over at first. So Shack is safe on the fielder's choice.
Number 44, the left fielder for the Chinooks, Alex Masada.
First pitch to Alex Masada will miss for ball one. With the 1-0. Hit on the ground towards third. I'll go to second for one. Back over to first in time. 5-4-3 double play. So that'll do it for the bottom of the eighth. Chinooks trail by a score of 8-2 to the Pilots. Then back we are to start the top of the ninth inning here at Lee Jordan Field. New pitcher on the hill for the Chinooks, the pride of Rentham, Massachusetts. Nate Lagos coming to the mound. He'll be facing Joe Gillette. Joe will be first pitch swinging, lines that out towards right field. He's going to round first, heads for second as that gets all the way to the wall. They're going to send him now to third. Alvarez will take the cutoff, but Gillette is safe at third with a triple. So Gillette's on with a triple to start the top of the ninth. Brings up R.J. Cordero to the plate for his second at-bat today. Cordero's up to the plate, nobody down. First pitch to him. Outside, ball one. The 1-0. Down and outside, ball two. 2-0 the count to R.J. Cordero. Joe Gillette, the runner at third for the Pilots. 2-0. Hit on the ground towards first. Whisker will look back Gillette before he sidesteps over to the bag for out number 1. One down, top of the ninth inning. Chinooks down 8-2. That'll bring Nick Orr up to the plate for his second time today. Swing and a miss on the first one from Orr. Next one, Orr is going to foul back and out of play.
And that foul ball is bumped by Craig for Dan Sadler.
Oh, and to the count to Nick Orr. He used the 0-2. Popped back, but Hill will run out of room. Count still 0-2 to Nick Orr, the freshman from Stanford. The 0-2. Chopped back. Alvarez will field it. Looks back Gillette. Goes to first in time for out number 2. Now we'll have another pinch hitter up to the plate for the Pilots. Ryan Perkins now up.
Batting for the Pilots, number 1.
First pitch to Perkins. In there, called strike 1. Next one will come inside for ball 1. And time will be called right before Lagos started his delivery. One on the count to Ryan Perkins. The 1-1 misses for ball 2. Perkins still looking for his first hit of the summer. Hasn't had a whole lot of at-bats. This is only his second official one. And they'll say he did not go around that time. That's ball 3. The 3-1. That's hit softly towards Alvarez at short. He'll get over to first in time for out number 3. So Gillette was able to get on with a triple, but some nice defense and some solid pitching from Lagos will set down the Pilots into the top of the 9th. Chinooks will need a big bottom half of the 9th to keep this one going as they trail 8-2. Isaac Alvarez up to the plate to start the bottom of the ninth inning here in Chugiak. The pitcher on the hill for the Pilots, Andy Roloff, will come in to pitch the ninth. First pitch to Isaac Alvarez. Lines that out towards right field. Gillette going over, and he'll make the running grab for out number one. So that'll bring Ben Hill now up to the plate with one down, bottom of the ninth. First pitch to Ben Hill. In there, called strike one. The 0-1. Swing and a miss as Hill falls behind 0-2. The 0-2. Outside, ball one. 1-2 the count to Ben Hill. The 1-2. Got him looking, called strike three. So that'll do it for Ben Hill. That'll bring up Zach Sanford with two down as he tries to keep this one going. So Zach Sanford up to the plate, two down, bottom of the ninth. Chinooks trail 8-2. Sanford's first pitch swinging for strike one. Here's the 0-1. Hit hard on the ground towards first. They'll flip it over to Roloff just in time, and that'll do it for this contest. Chinooks will fall in this contest by a score of 8-2 to the Glacier Pilots, and makes it a 10-game losing streak for your Chinooks. And as far as player of the game goes, pretty simple choice. Going to have to go with Nick Campy. Came in firing out of the bullpen, 4 2/3 innings pitched, gave up just 3 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. So I'll be talking to Nick Campy here in a little bit. Again, Chinooks lose by a score of 8-2. Stay tuned for my interview with Nick Campy in just a few moments. And thank you, fans, for sticking around here with our player of the game third time, Nick Campy. Nick came in a big spot just in the first inning. So what was the mindset coming into today's game?
It was a little different than what I'm used to, for sure. Coming in early, I'm used to a late inning guy, and so I put on my cleats. I saw it getting a little shaky there in the first inning. Put on my cleats. I said, "You might come to me early," and sure enough, he said, "Get loose," and had to just transition to game mode right away there. So,
and you were able to do just that. Came in the middle of the first inning, went 4 strong, just under 5, only 3 hits, 7 strikeouts. What was working for you today that you were able to get the 7 strikeouts?
Really, what I noticed was I was able to locate my fastball really well. A lot of times, I'm just trying to throw as hard as I can. Don't necessarily know where it's going. Today, I just settled down, worked on just hitting spots and locating that, and thankfully the slider was on as well today. So.
And sometimes you don't have to throw 95 to beat guys. You just have to get it in that exact perfect spot to make the guy miss. So you have another good game, and we were kind of joking that this is kind of becoming a regular thing for you. This is your third time here, and it seems like it's been like every other home game since then. So what have you been doing just so well? More importantly, what have you been doing differently than earlier on in the season when you were struggling?
I would say the second, you step on the ball field, even when you're in the bullpen, you got to have a mindset that, hey, I might play today. Beginning of the year is like, maybe I'll just have to sit here, not worry about throwing, and probably just lack of focus earlier in the year. And then later in the year, I was like, all right, I just need to come in, be focused, be ready to throw. So
sometimes all it takes, folks, is a shift of focus to play your best. Nick, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Lance. Appreciate it.
And we'll be right back here tomorrow against the Bucks, same time, same place on the Chinook Radio Network.